Listen, if your eyes are getting a little heavy now, it probably has nothing to do with boredom. I mean, the show's been exciting so far, but it really is exciting now, even as your lids begin to droop. Well, at least that's what they say when they're writing about hypnotism. Bob Faith doesn't write about it. He does it, and has for how long?
47 years.
Wow.
Give or take an hour.
47 years ago, it was hard to convince people that hypnotism was real.
Sometimes it's still hard.
Well, listen, you do a lot of therapy, though, besides
I do.
entertainment.
I do.
You
both.
do a lot of therapy. In the wake of the Las Vegas shootings,
Right.
can hypnotism in any form help the rest of us cope?
Yes, because whether you were actually there or whether you were involved in it or anything, the guilt feelings or the anxiety and stress for the whole situation, when you're hypnotized, it allows you to focus and concentrate and relax and understand the whole procedure. So it works very well with adapting to your surroundings and the current events.
You know, we're talking about the non-believers.
Right.
But in a foxhole, it's difficult not to believe if something brings you comfort. And you actually started this
Started
in Vietnam.
yeah, back in '69, working with post-traumatic stress disorder with the people. It was called battle fatigue and shell shock back in those days. But that's where I initially got my training.
Shell-shocked, the term that you just used,
Yeah.
and then PTSD, but it's all pretty much the same, isn't it?
It's just a new terminology for the same thing. They just changed the wording pattern.
And you treat that?
That's what we work with.
Is it accepted at places like the VA hospitals?
It's accepted with some physicians everywhere. It's getting more accepted all over, but in general, as far as hospitals goes, it's more the individual physician rather than the hospital itself.
Well, PTSD has to be dealt with men and women coming back.
Oh, sure.
After 5, 6, 7 deployments.
Oh, sure.
But what else is hypnotism good for therapeutically?
Well, smoking, weight, stress, headaches, anything, sports.
How? How sports? On the eve of last night's baseball game.
Okay, if the guy that hit the triple for the first time in his life,
Archie.
he was zoned into the pitcher. He hit the ball because he was watching the rotation of the ball. He knew whether it was a slider or a fastball or a curveball, and he was so intent on it, he hit the ball the way he wanted to. Larry Fitzgerald, when he catches a pass, if he's not paying attention to the quarterback, instead he's paying attention to the running back or the defensive halfback, he doesn't catch it. But if he's focused in on the ball, he catches it.
But that's just called paying attention.
Well, that's
hypnotism?
You're doing your self-hypnosis when you zone into those type of things. People don't realize you do it in everyday life. Driving down a highway and missing your turnoff, being on autopilot. Going to a movie and becoming happy or sad with the character. When you're waking up without an alarm clock for somebody coming to work. A lady who can sleep through a storm, but when the kid cries, they wake up. Selective sounds.
If folks watching right now, Bob, who are either still smoking and they've tried everything, or they've got some kind of food problem.
Sure.
Any of those things that seem to have a lot of success when it comes to hypnotism.
Right.
But isn't one of the most important things finding out how to choose a therapist?
Oh, definitely. The more you find whether their background, whether it correlates with your thoughts and ideas, whether it's personalities of the individual, the whole ball of wax goes into how, it's like working with a doctor. If you like the physician and you have a good rapport with them, it makes a lot of difference.
People can get in touch with you through Bob Faith Entertainment?
BobFaith.com, Bob Faith Entertainment.
Okay, what do you think of stage hypnotism?
Well, since I do stage hypnotism also, I would have to say that I like it. The ability to make people laugh and the ability to make people realize their abilities. You can see things, and it's such a fascinating tool. I can say something to you and say the same thing to the cameraman, and I'll get a different response simply because of your background. And
I'm supposed to have the same ability, though, the ability to keep people with us on the Arizona Daily Mix, having met Bob Faith, a hypnotist, therapeutically and entertaining.